What's good, everybody? We are back with another 2K25 video, and today I have all of the best builds at every position for you guys. In this video, I will be showing you a 6'3" guard, a 6'6" guard, a 6'7" lock, a 6'7" popper, and a 7' center. This build video really includes every build you could possibly need. It's got all the information on every position. Everything you guys could possibly need to know, want to know about the builder or different builds at different positions is included in this video. It took a lot of time to get all these best builds put together, find everything. So drop a like, drop a sub before we get into it. Turn those notifications on. You don't want to miss any of these daily uploads. And without further ado, let's get into these builds. Alright, so our first point guard build here, as I said, we're going to go with a 6'3" point guard, 170 pounds with a 6'7" wingspan. I don't think anybody can argue this year. The 6'3" is probably the best at the one position. I don't know how much 2K25 you guys have watched, but these builds are extremely good, extremely well-rounded. Very good on offense and can still get some super high defensive stats. So in my opinion, these 6'3s take the cake for a one guard in any game mode. But I also have a 6'6" guard for you after this if you prefer that, so stick around for that. But here is our 6'3" guard. All right, so right here into the finishing, we are going to go with a 78 close shot, 77 driving layup, 93 driving dunk, and a 51 standing dunk. This 78 close shot is going to get us silver float game, as well as bronze paint prodigy. And then for driving layup at 77, it's going to get us Hall of Fame aerial wizard, silver float game, and bronze layup mixmaster. But the big part of the finishing attributes where this build really shines is the 93 driving dunk. This is going to get us gold posterizer, and it's also going to get a lot of the contact dunk animations. From what I've seen, I really don't think there's a point in going any higher than 93 this year, and we get it on a play shot type of guard. Like we get, as you can see in the screenshot right here, we have a 94 three-pointer, and we're getting a 93 driving dunk. And then I went ahead and upgraded the standing dunk to 51. I'm really big on standing dunks this year. I think they're very good. And any chance we get that we're stuck under the basket, if we can throw down a standing dunk, I'll take it. Unfortunately, we don't get rise up on this build because of the height, but I'm not complaining. That attribute will definitely help us get some dunks if we get in a tough spot. Overall, I love the finishing on this build. It's very solid. Wait till you see the rest of this thing. And right into the shooting here, we're going to go with an 84 mid-range, a 94 three-pointer, and a 70 free throw. And with this 84 mid-range, we're going to get gold Deadeye, gold mini marksman, gold set shot specialist, and gold shifty shooter, which if you didn't know, shifty shooter is one of my favorite shooting badges this year. It activates on almost every single shot. And that's going to be all of our shooting badges, except for with this 94 three-pointer, we're also going to get gold limitless range. So you're going to be shooting from half court super consistently on this build. I've seen some insane clips. It looks like limitless range is really working this year. It really makes me think that this 94 three-pointer is worth all the attribute points that it takes up. Not to mention, with a 94, you're going to get almost every single jump shot base in the entire game. So if you're worried about getting a jump shot, you don't need to be on this build. And a lot of people are really struggling with shooting. This 94 three-pointer will help with that. But honestly, once you get the hang of it, once you get used to your jump shot, shooting's not that bad this year. Just stick it out. You get a ton of gold shooting badges on this build, so you should be just fine if you're looking to make a point guard. So far, though, we're looking super strong offensively. Let's take a look at the playmaking. All right, right here for the playmaking, pay close attention. I went with these specific attributes for a very important reason. So we ended up going with a 70 pass accuracy, 92 ball handle, and 89 speed with ball. So for the ball handle and speed with the ball, I do plan on using my cap breakers here. I'm just about to starter 3. So once I hit that, I will be putting 2 of my cap breakers onto speed with ball to get it to 91 and give us Hall of Fame lightning launch. And then I'll be putting 3 onto ball handle to unlock the rest of the dribble animations in the game that we don't already have. Which, if you didn't know, with this 92, we unlock every dribble animation in the game except for Steve Francis. So once we get Steve Francis at 95 and we get that 91 speed with ball, I will also probably be using my max +1 badge on speed with, or on lightning launch, sorry, to make that legend, and we will be flying around the court. With this 70 pass accuracy, I usually have 71 on all my builds, but 70's been more than enough this year. I get bronze break starter and bronze dimer. We're still going to throw the ball super fast. Don't worry about that. I'm telling you right now, I haven't gotten any higher on pass accuracy on a lot of my builds this year. This 70 is doing the job. And then with the 92 ball handle, we're going to get silver ankle assassin, gold handles for days, and gold unpluckable. This is all pretty typical for a point guard this size. But then that speed with ball, like I said, starting with gold lightning launch, we're going to work that up to legend eventually. This build's going to be insane. All of the offenses look good. I'm sure you're thinking, wow, the defense really can't be looking that good. But look at these crazy defensive stats. Yes, we get all that offense, and we're still going to end up with an 85 perimeter and a 91 steal. So this is going to get us silver challenger, silver on-ball menace, silver pick dodger, and gold off-ball pest, as well as gold glove and gold interceptor. If you guys have played the game, you know how good steals are this year. I actually can't believe we're able to get a 91 steal on this build after how amazing the offensive stats are. I mean, we're getting elite contact dunks, we're getting gold limitless range, we're getting every ball handle move in the entire game, legend lightning launch, and then we're still getting these defensive stats. This is probably one of the most souped all-around builds I've seen all year. And besides the height, there's really no disadvantage to making this build. All right, and then finally onto the physicals here. We're gonna go with an 85 speed, 84 agility, 45 strength, and an 80 vertical. The speed and agility, speed's gonna help us run without the ball. I wanna be fast, I wanna be able to run out on fast breaks. Agility at 84 is gonna help us slide our feet on defense. We do have that 85 perimeter, so I wanna be able to keep up with people, get stops on defense. 45 strength, that just ended up coming up with some other stuff we upgraded, so don't worry too much about that. And then the 80 vertical is gonna help us get those elite contact dunks with the 93 dunk we got. You also need an 80 vertical to get those dunk animations, so you want to make sure you're not missing that, because it'd be a shame if you upgraded your dunk to 93 but didn't end up doing the vertical and ended up missing out on those animations. This is a great build to start out the video. That's going to wrap it up for the stats. Let's check out the name quick, and then we'll get on to that 6'6". All right, and for our 6'3" build name, we're going to be a two-way inside-out ISO creator. I've seen a lot of build names like this. Nothing too unique, but not too bad either. If you're looking for the best point guard, this is the one for you. If you're looking for a taller guard, let's check that out now. All right, so starting out, like I said, point guard, 6'6". We're gonna go 180 pounds with a 6'10" wingspan. I looked at a bunch of different wingspans. 6'10" is looking like the one, especially if you want to be able to get the 92 ball handle, 86 speed of the ball to be a really good point guard. I will say though, like I say in all my build videos, if you want to tweak this, change it, do whatever you got to do, make it fit your play style. This is just how I play and how I wanted to make it. But seriously, use this as a template. It's a really good way to start, and if you want to change anything around, go for it. That's all for the physicals. Let's get into the finishing. All right, so for the finishing, we are going to go with a 69 close shot, 77 driving layup, 89 driving dunk, 39 standing dunk, and then a 47 post control. And as a lot of you know that have played 2K before, some of these stats just come up as you upgrade other things. But the important ones you want to make sure you have right is that 77 driving layup. This is going to get us gold aerial wizard, bronze float game if you're interested in doing floaters, and it's also going to get you bronze layup mix master so you can make some layups. I've seen a ton of people whiffing wide open layups this year, so honestly layup might be more important than we think, but 77 will definitely get the job done. And then the 89 driving dunk, listen to this carefully. I put this at 89 and we're going to get silver posterizer, but I'm going to use my first set of cap breakers on this. I'm going to put 4 on this to get me to a 93 driving dunk. And as you'll see when we get down to the physicals, I'm going to put 1 of those cap breaker points on my vertical, and that will unlock us the next level of contact dunks, which will put this build at a 93 dunk with some crazy contact dunk animations. Even if you don't end up getting cap breakers, 89 is more than enough. It still gets you contact dunks, and it's a very good rating to have in this game. And if you're any good at using dunk meter, this will give you a huge green window on your dunks. Overall, extremely solid finishing. Let's get on to the shooting. All right, for the shooting, the main thing here is going to be that 89 three-pointer. The mid-range at 79 just ends up coming up with it, so you don't have to do anything to that. But with that 89 three-pointer, we're going to end up getting silver Deadeye, silver limitless range, gold set shot specialist, and silver shifty shooter. The build I've been playing on mainly has a 79 three-pointer, and I've been shooting consistently. I can't imagine what I'm about to be doing with an 89. This will also unlock you pretty much any jump shot animation you need on a 6'6" build. I can't think of many that are above this, so don't worry about jump shot animations. And then that 78 free throw, I do plan on playing rec with my friends on this build, so I wanted to up that just so I'm not missing easy points. Free throws are kind of tough this year though. 78 might not end up being enough, but I will let you guys know. It's been plenty the last few years, so that's what I'm going to go with. I don't want to waste any more attributes upgrading that. From the first 2 categories though, we are looking really strong offensively. That's enough with these. Let's get on to the playmaking. All right, and onto the playmaking, we're going to get a 71 pass accuracy, 92 ball handle, and 86 speed with ball. Having that 92 ball handle will give us the ability to unlock every single dribble animation in the game except for Steve Francis. Again, I shouldn't say every dribble move, but everything that's available for 6'6". You're obviously not going to get the small guard animations. But we are able to speed boost really well if you watch those intro clips. There really should be no concern in that category. And some of the badges we're able to get with these ratings, we're going to get silver ankle assassin, gold handles for days you're going to be able to dribble forever, and gold unpluckable. I'm really not trying to get ripped by lockdowns over and over again, so I wanted to make sure to get that. And then with the 86 speed with ball, this is the most you can possibly get on a 6'6", and you get gold lightning launch. Now I do plan on using my max +1 badge to get that to Hall of Fame, because Hall of Fame lightning launch on a 6'6" build is going to be crazy. 71 pass accuracy, this is something I just recently learned. I usually go with a 70, but if you put that extra point on, you can get dimer up to silver. and that's going to be way more than enough. You're going to be throwing dots all over the court. The passing on this build is actually really fast for having a 71 rating. I would not suggest wasting any more points there or going any higher. With the playmaking, shooting, and finishing looking really solid, you might be thinking, oh, there's no way this build has defense. But just wait, let's take a look at this. Yes, that is right. We are going to get an 85 perimeter defense and an 85 steal with a 68 block on this build. If you've played 2K25 at all, you know the defense is feeling really good. I have a couple lockdowns. They're a ton of fun. It's very responsive and bumpy, and the lane steals are really good. I'm having a ton of fun on defense, I can't lie. But diving a little bit deeper into these stats, the 85 perimeter defense is going to get us Silver Challenger, Silver On-Ball Menace, which is clamps if you didn't know. We're also going to get Silver Pick Dodger. Some of the center screens this year are crazy. They have a ton of strength, and they're just throwing me on the ground, so make sure you're getting that Silver Pick Dodger at least. And you're also going to end up getting Gold Off-Ball Pest so people aren't backdooring you like crazy. And then for the 85 steal, we're going to get Silver Glove. I haven't been using Glove a ton this year. I've been getting more bump steals than like reach steals, if that makes sense. And we're also going to get Gold Interceptor. That's why I've been upgrading my steal this year, because Interceptor is very good. I have like 12 or 15 minutes of clips from me getting steals on my lockdowns. Anything that gets thrown in a lane, if it's a lazy pass or a low IQ pass, it's getting picked off. This 85 steal rating is the best bang for your buck attribute in the entire game. And then finally, I did end up going with a 68 block. I plan on playing ones on this build quite a bit. And on the ones court, if somebody blows by me, I want to be able to chase them down and get a block. So we do get Bronze High Flying Denier on this build. Nothing too insane, but it will get you a block occasionally. It might save you a game or two. Definitely worth the attributes, especially because of how cheap it is. Then finally, under our last category, let's take a look at the physicals. All right, so we did save a few attribute points here. We are going to go with an 81 speed. This is only going to be your movement off the ball, so don't worry about that. It's still plenty to get around the court. And honestly, moving on these taller builds, 81 feels very fast. Then we ended up going with a 76 agility, which is going to help us with badges like On-Ball Menace, Pick Dodger, Shifty Shooter, which is one of the best shooting badges this year. It's honestly a little bit low for my liking, but the next like threshold we would have wanted to hit was like 81 or 85. And on this build with all the stats we have in other categories, I really didn't think it was worth it. 51 strength, that ended up coming up with other things we were upgrading. But this last one's important. Vertical at 79, like I had mentioned in the beginning, I am going to be using my first cap breakers in this category as well. I will be putting 4 on driving dunk and 1 on vertical to unlock the next threshold of driving dunk contacts. You do not want to miss that. Make sure you're not messing this up. I had to make sure to get this to 79 so that those cap breakers would allow me to get contact dunks. You really don't want to be 1 point short, so make sure you're paying attention when you're upgrading this. That's going to do it for the stats. Let's get into the build name. And for this build, we're going to end up being a 2-way 3-level shot creator. Again, I said in my last video, this is like the only build name I really don't like this year. But I couldn't pass it up just because the stats are so good and this is going to fit my playstyle perfectly. That's going to wrap it up for the 6'6" guard. So if that's what kind of guard you're looking for, this is going to be perfect for you. Let's get on to the shooting guard position. All right, so getting into our shooting guard build here, we're going to go, like I said, position shooting guard, height 6'5", weight 175 pounds, and wingspan also 6'5". The reason I ended up going with a 6'5" wingspan, I wanted the 99.3 once I got my cap breakers. As you can see, this is the tallest you can go and still get a 99.3. It's great for a shooting guard position, and it's not just the 99.3. This build is very well rounded, but it also gets to come with that insane shooting attribute that I want to try. So in my opinion, this is my favorite shooting guard or my best shooting guard, but feel free to change it however you want to. All right, so getting into the finishing here, we are going to go with an 88 driving dunk, 71 layup, and a 69 close shot. And I do plan on using my 5 cap breakers on that driving dunk to get it to 93 and get gold posterizer. The one thing I would change about this build, how I made it, you'll see later on, I went with a 78 vertical, and I wish I would have went with an 80 instead. I did have cap breakers in mind when looking at this driving dunk to get it to 93 and get that next level of contact dunk animations, but I really did need to get the vertical to 80. Not a huge deal. You're going to be throwing down a ton of dunks either way. This is a mistake on me. I'm telling you guys so you don't make the same mistake. But even with this 88, I'm still going to get a lot of really good contact dunk animations and silver posterizer until I get my cap breakers, as well as gold aerial wizard and a few bronze layup badges. I'm glad I made the mistake so you guys don't have to, but very solid finishing overall. Let's take a look at the shooting. And onto the shooting. Like I said, we're going to go with a 94 three-point shot, 84 mid-range shot. This is what the build really shines. This is what I made it for. And I said in the finishing that I was going to put my cap breakers on driving dunk. I am going to put my veteran 2 cap breakers on driving dunk. But if you made this build right, you'd start with an 89 driving dunk and an 80 vertical. So then you're already getting the contact dunk animations and you're getting the 99 three-pointer when you hit your first set of cap breakers. Like I said, I kind of messed up the build on my end. I'm glad you guys can do it right. But yes, first set of cap breakers going on this 3-point shot to get it to 99, get us a whole bunch of different legend shooting badges. But even with this 94, we're going to unlock almost every base in the game. And we're also going to get 84 mid-range. And we're going to get gold Deadeye, gold limitless range, gold set shot specialist, and gold shifty shooter. The only downside of this sharpshooter build is we don't get mini marksman because we're 2 inches too tall. But we're still going to be shooting over people. You guys know how the contest system is in this game. I'm not too worried about it, especially once we get that 99.3, all the legend badges. We're going to be shooting insanely consistent. And again, just to wrap that up, I'm not trying to confuse you guys. Use your first set of cap breakers to get the 99 3-point shot. If you end up hitting veteran 2, then you can turn that 89 driving dunk into a 93, get the next level of contact dunks. But the main thing is use the first cap breakers on 3-point shot, not driving dunk. And then onto the playmaking here, we're going to go with a 70 pass accuracy, 86 ball handle, and 86 speed with ball. We are going to be kind of a secondary ball handler, so I wanted to make sure we got a lot of animations. And with the 86 in both categories, we are going to get silver ankle assassin, silver handles for days, and silver unpluckable, as well as gold lightning launch, which I will probably use my max +1 on to make Hall of Fame. We're going to be speed boosting on a 2-guard, very good. You're going to unlock a ton of really good dribble styles with this. You're also going to unlock a ton of different dribble animations. Honestly, 92 is not necessary, especially with how the dribbling is this year. A lot of it's just cross launch. And I won't be really using this guard as a main 1 guard anyways, anywhere. So we should be completely fine with the dribble moves we do get. And then I went ahead and threw 70 pass accuracy on. I've said it on previous builds. It's what I'm going to go with on almost every single build. It's very good. You get bronze break starter, you get bronze dimer. You're still throwing really fast passes. You're definitely not a slouch in the playmaking category. And getting into the defense here, we do end up getting an 85 perimeter and an 85 steal. This is going to get us silver challenger, silver on-ball menace, silver pick dodger, and gold off-ball pest, as well as silver glove and gold interceptor. We know how good defense is this year. We know how good steals are. Be able to get contests on the perimeter. That's why we went with the 85 to get silver challenger. We don't want to go all the way up to 92 because we're not going to be guarding ball all that often, but we're still pretty good on defense. I hate making builds that are just cones on defense. I want to be able to get stops. I don't want to be scored on every single time my guy touches the ball. And honestly, this is looking really solid for the other stats we get. I mean, we're already getting contact dunks. We're already getting a 99-3. We're getting a lot of very good dribble animations. This defense is good enough. And then onto the physicals for this, we're going to go with an 84 speed, 80 agility, 45 strength, and a 78 vertical. Again, remember what I said about the vertical. If you want to shoot for those 93 contact dunks, make sure you're starting with that at 80. You'll have to edit this a little bit. But I still think you're perfectly fine if you go with the 89 driving dunk and the 78 vertical and use those cap breakers on 3-point. The speed and agility, speed's going to help us run down the court, get out on the breaks. I've said it a few times in this video already. I really want to be able to run around the court fast. And then that 80 agility, again, help us slide our feet on defense. If you guys played the game, you know how it works. Not going to get too much into it, but honestly, this shooting guard build, I'm going to have a ton of fun on it. I can't wait to get my legend shooting badges. Really want to get the cap breakers to get that 99-3. That's what I'm excited for on this build. Overall, very solid shooting guard build. Let's take a look at the name, and then we will get onto our small forward lock. All right, and onto the name here. We're going to be a two-way, 3-level shot creator. I feel like two-way, 3-level is in every single build name this year. Nothing too crazy, but I really don't care too much about it. Great build. Overall, let's get into the small forward. All right, so here we are with our small forward. We're going to go 6'7". This is going to be my same as my lockdown build, 218 pounds with a 7'3" wingspan. I have posted this build before. This is the speed boosting lockdown that I posted the first day of the game. And even though I made it right away, it is still ending up being one of the best lockdowns in the game. I'm absolutely dominating on this build. I have like 15 minutes of clips of me just stealing the ball. It's insanely fun, and it's not only good at defense, it can shoot really consistently and speed boost when you get the right dribble animations. Enough about this stuff though, let's get into the finishing. Alright, so this finishing attribute is pretty typical for a lockdown, I'm not going to lie, but we are going to go with a 73 driving dunk, 70 close shot, 55 driving layup, 48 standing dunk, and a 50 post control. It really might not look like much, but we do end up getting bronze posterizer and silver aerial wizard. The finishing is not super high rated, but it gets the job done. It's really not what this build is made to do, but you're still going to throw down the open ones. Don't worry about that. And this is honestly pretty solid compared to other lockdowns and popper builds I've seen. This finishing is higher than a lot of the other ones that people have posted. That's enough about this though. Let's get on to where this build really shines. And into the shooting here, we're going to go with an 85 mid-range shot, 79 3-point shot, and a 68 free throw. If you've been watching my videos, you know I say 85 is the sweet spot for a lot of these builds. This is going to be, you're going to get silver Deadeye, silver set shot specialist, and bronze shifty shooter. And I also do see a lot of the jump shot base animations getting unlocked at this 85 rating, so you're going to make sure to hit that. Most of the shots this builder are going to be taking are going to be catch and shoot, a lot of them from the corner. These ratings are more than enough to hit consistently this year. Find a jump shot you like, practice it, get good with it. This is plenty enough shooting to be good this year. And then onto the playmaking. This is where my lock sets himself apart from a lot of other locks. I end up getting 70 ball handle and 70 speed with ball so I can get the pro dribble animations. This is why I'm able to call it a speed boosting lock, because you can technically dribble and speed boost with the 70 ball handle and 70 speed with ball. It's also going to help us get silver strong handle, bronze unpluckable, and bronze lightning launch, so you are able to get lightning launch on a pure lockdown. And then I went ahead with a 65 pass accuracy. The only passes really going to be throwing or handing the ball off to our point guard, so I didn't need to go very high with that. And even with this 65 rating, we're going to get bronze break starter and bronze dimer. And I've been playing on this build for about 10 days now. I haven't had any issues with it. I'm not throwing any crazy passes. Just have some IQ and you won't be throwing a bunch of turnovers. This isn't even the crazy part of the build yet though. Let's take a look at the defense. All right, finally here in the defense, this is what the whole build's about. It is a lockdown. We are going to go with a 74 interior, 94 perimeter, 94 steal, 78 block, and throw that 60 defensive rebound on there to help out the center if a ball bounces out. The 74 interior is going to get us Hall of Fame off-ball pest, bronze paint patroller, and bronze post lockdown. I've been stopping a ton of centers in the paint on this build. It's still not quite enough to stop a pure post scorer, but you will get a stop on them eventually if they try to post score you every possession. I have been guarding mainly guards on this build though. That's why I went with the 94 on perimeter and steal. And I do plan on using my +5 cap breakers on one of those attributes. I haven't decided if I want to put it on perimeter and have a 99 or if I want to put it on steal and have a 99. Either way, we're going to be getting some legend defensive badges, and whichever one I don't use with my first cap breakers, I will be putting my second cap breaker on when I hit veteran 2, which will turn this into a speed boosting lockdown with 99 perimeter and 99 steal. But even before cap breakers, we're getting gold challenger, gold on-ball menace, gold pick dodger, gold immovable enforcer, which is the best defensive badge this year to bump guards. We're also getting gold glove and Hall of Fame interceptor, which I did use my max +1 on to get that Hall of Fame interceptor legend. Anything that comes my way, I'm ripping it out of the air. And then 78 block is going to get a silver high flying denier, bronze paint patroller. And then I had to throw that 60 defensive rebound on, like I said, help with the center, and it's going to get us bronze rebound chaser and bronze box out beast. So if you're playing on this build and you need to grab a rebound, you can box people out and you can grab it. It's not just going to bounce off your head. And like I said, a lot of the times you're going to be guarding guards and you're going to have a higher rebound than those guards, as well as being bigger than them. So it's going to help you grab a lot more rebounds. Overall, just a cheap attribute that's going to pay off, upgrading it a few ratings. And then finally onto the physicals, we're going to go with an 86 speed, 85 agility, 85 strength, and a 74 vertical. You guys already know speeds for off-ball movement. I want to be able to run around fast. If I'm not sliding defensively, I still want to be quick on defense, sprinting around the court. 85 agility, we are going to slide really fast with that 94 perimeter. These are all going to contribute to our defensive badges as well. And with how fast guards are, I want to be able to keep that agility as high as possible so I can keep up with them. But I also wanted to get that 85 strength because not only is it going to give me a movable enforcer, it's also going to help me bump the guard a lot. Like this 85 strength really just throws them around, and if they drive into you, they're going to fall backwards. They're going to fumble the ball. It's honestly one of the best defensive stats this year, and it's not even in the defense category. And then for vertical, we're going to go with a 74. This is just going to help you get more blocks, help you grab the rebounds. Just makes you more athletic overall. Anyways, super solid small forward build, amazing lock. I don't have the name for you here, but it ends up being a versatile stopper, which is a really good lock name this year. I still have a power forward build and a center build to show you guys though, so stick around for those. Let's get into the next one. All right, so in the builder, we're gonna go power forward, height 6'7", 235 pounds with a 7'3" wingspan. And I already know what some of you guys are thinking, 6'7" is way too short for a popper. I'm telling you right now, it is not this year. The stats on this build help me get stops on centers in the paint all the time, and I'm ripping down rebounds over their heads, with the added benefit of being extremely fast compared to everybody that's guarding me. You really don't want to bring a big center to the park, it's just not the meta, except for maybe on the twos, but I'm telling you right now, this build gets the job done. Trust me on this, I'm not wasting any more of your time, let's get into the stats. All right, starting out with the finishing here, we're going to go with a 73 close shot, 71 driving dunk, 81 standing dunk, and a 56 post control. It might not look like much, but it gets the job done, and I'm going to tell you exactly why I chose each threshold to hit for each stat category. So 73 close shot, ended up just coming up with other stats, wasn't too concerned about that on this build. 71 driving dunk, I'm still labbing a bunch of different dunk packages, but I know it unlocks some that I really like to use. So I wanted to make sure I could hit that, and having this rating, if you're wide open, or I mean if there's somebody even kind of near you, you're going to be able to throw it down pretty easily. You're not going to be a high flyer by any means, but you'll still be dunking pretty consistently. And then with the 81 standing dunk, this is going to give us silver aerial wizard and silver rise up. Last year standing dunk didn't matter all that much, but this year it makes a huge difference. I was playing without the standing dunk upgraded and not getting any kind of standing dunks, but as soon as I upgraded it, I was getting them constantly. I'm not going to go through and name all the standing dunk animations you get with this, but there's a lot. And it will help you if you're standing under the basket. Even if somebody's guarding you, you're going to throw it down a lot of the time. And then don't worry about the 56 post control. That just ended up coming up with some other stuff we were upgrading. Overall, very decent for a popper build. I've seen a lot of poppers with much worse finishing. Let's get on to the shooting. All right, so for the shooting, this build is basically a stretch big. We're going to get an 87 mid-range, a 79 3, and then I put that free throw on 70 just in case I want to play some rec or pro-am on this build. 87 mid-range is not only going to unlock a silver deadeye, silver set shot specialist, and silver shifty shooter, but it's also going to unlock a ton of jump shot bases and animations that you're going to want on your build. I've been greening more consistently the first couple days of this game than I was pretty much all last year. I'm not even going to lie. Shooting is very easy. I'm telling you right now, this build is basically a stretch. Feel free to tweak this however you want, but this did end up getting me all the badges that I wanted because if you go any farther down on mid-range, you end up losing silver shifty shooter, which is like the best shooting badge in my opinion. So if I were you, I'd rock with this. Not too much else to say about the shooting though. Let's check out the playmaking. All right, so for the playmaking, I've been saying it all year. I've been saying it every 2K that comes out. Pass accuracy does not need to be very high. I usually go with 70 on all my builds, even my point guards. But this 65 threshold is going to get us bronze break starter and bronze dimer. As long as you have some IQ when you're throwing your passes, it's definitely more than enough, even with lane steals being crazy this year. And then as for the speed with ball and ball handle, not too much to say there. This really isn't a dribbling build. And if that's what you're looking for, I have other build videos on those, but this is not one of those stretch builds that's going to be dribbling around. You're here to play defense, set screens, grab rebounds, and hit open shots. Super simple on the playmaking, but the defense is really where this build shines, so let's check that out. All right, so in the defensive category, we went with a 74 interior, 85 perimeter, 85 steal, 84 block, and then for the rebounding, we went with an 83 offensive and a 92 defensive. For being a 6'7" popper with a 74 interior, I do have max wingspan, and me personally, I'm getting a stop on bigger centers in the paint almost every time. It might not seem like much, but it really is getting the job done this year so far. And this rating will give you a silver paint patroller badge and bronze post lockdown, so those are going to also help you stop those bigger centers. And anybody your size or smaller, you're getting stops on them every single time if you play good defense. We're not only getting stops in the paint though, we have an 85 perimeter and an 85 steal. And at this perimeter defense rating, we're going to get silver challenger, silver on-ball menace, which is like clamps if you haven't seen my other videos talking about it, silver pick dodger, gold immovable enforcer, which is by far the best defensive badge this year in my opinion, and then gold off-ball pest. I'm not even joking. If you wanted to run this build at lockdown, you could. That's how good the defensive stats are. With the 85 steal, I've also been talking about this in all my build videos. You're going to get silver glove and gold interceptor. I really think this is the sweet spot just because of how good that gold interceptor is. Every single lane steal, you guys saw it in the clips, I am grabbing that out of the air every single time. They're super consistent this year, so I wanted to make sure to get that badge. And then also to help out with some paint defense stuff, I went with an 84 block, which is going to give a silver high flying denier, silver paint patroller, and gold pogo stick. I've talked about it already. You're going to get a bunch of blocks. You're going to get a ton of stops in the paint. And then for the rebounding, I honestly, before I made this build, didn't think 6'7" was going to be enough to get a bunch of rebounds. But with the 83 offensive, 92 defensive, we are going to get gold rebound chaser, which I've been jumping up and snagging a lot of rebounds over bigger centers. I'm very impressed with how well this has been doing. This is also a situation where I'm probably going to use my max +1 to take us from gold rebound chaser to Hall of Fame, just to get that extra advantage, and I don't really think there's any other badges I'd want to use on this build for that. I'm going to stop yapping about how good the defense is though. Let's get on to the physicals. And down here in the physicals, 83 speed, like I said before, we're going to be faster than almost every center guarding us. Those bigger builds really aren't getting speed like that this year, so this 83 is going to be really good for us. 83 agility, very important on any build you're playing defense on. You saw our defensive stats. We want to be able to slide. We want to be fast. We're going to be moving on defense. This 83 is going to be great for us. And then we went with a 91 strength. I don't want to get pushed around by bigger centers. And I wanted the immovable enforcer, which came with this strength rating, as well as gold brick wall and gold box out beast. I want to be the one throwing people around. I don't want to get thrown around. So I wanted to make sure to get my strength as high as I could on this build. And then vertical, it says it right in the description. We went with an 80 because it helps with your rebounding, it helps with blocks, and it's also going to contribute to get us some of those standing dunk animations. Not too much else to say about the physicals though. I'm having a ton of fun on this build. This really is one of those builds that if you're looking to guard 1 through 5, it can do that. I'm going to show you the jump shot I'm using on this build real quick. Just going to throw this on the screen quick here for you guys. I've shown this in almost every video and I have a jump shot video out. But this is the one I'm using on all of my 6'5 to 6'9 builds. Go ahead and throw it on if you want to shoot more consistently. This build also gets a really cool name though, so let's check that out. And as you can see, the build is called a two-way board hunting stretch. This is a super cool name for a popper. And on top of it, it's the best build I've seen for this position in the game. That's going to wrap it up for our power forward build. Let's get on to our last build, our center build, my favorite one. All right, so here we are in the builder. We are going to go position center, height 7 foot, 253 pounds with a 7'5" wingspan. Some of you might be concerned about the wingspan, but I'm telling you right now, I'm flying in. I'm out rebounding every center I play against. Like I said, averaging about 22 or 23 rebounds in the rec. This lower wingspan is really just going to help us get more 3. And with the lower wingspan, for some reason, we get more attribute points. So I was able to dump a little bit more into shooting and unlock some more shooting bases. That 7'5" wingspan is definitely the sweet spot in my opinion. And with the weight being at 253 pounds, we're still getting plenty of strength, so we're throwing people out of the way. I want to be bullying them in the paint. I'm really not trying to be the one getting bullied. That's all I got for the physicals. Let's look at the finishing. All right, so starting out with the finishing, like I've said a couple times already, this build is dominant in the paint. We are going to get an 84 close shot, 65 driving dunk, 90 standing dunk, and a 75 post control. That 84 close shot is going to give us silver paint prodigy, silver float game, and silver hook specialist. This paint prodigy badge is honestly a lot better than I expected after playing with it, and it helps you make a ton of standing layups like in the paint or like close to the paint. I haven't tried out hook shots too much this year, but I'm not usually a huge fan of them, so I'll probably avoid those. That 65 driving dunk, it's nothing crazy, but it's going to let you dunk when you're running to the paint and not make you stop and do a standing dunk every single time. But the real dominant part of this center is the 90 standing dunk. This is going to get you standing contact dunks. It's also going to get you gold rise up and gold aerial wizard. As soon as I maxed this out on my build, I started dunking everything. And also the standing dunk meter is really good this year, so if you're anywhere within 5 feet of the basket, you can dunk really easily, especially if it's a smaller defender. It seems like 2K really took into consideration the size of the person guarding you this year, so even if they have a good interior, you can dunk over them a lot of the time. Something else super important is going to be the 75 post control. This is going to give us silver post fade phenom, silver post powerhouse, bronze post up poet, bronze unpluckable, and silver hook specialist. This is going to be a lot of the badges that help us just back people down, drop step, any kind of post moves you want to do, that's what this takes care of. And it also gets us that unpluckable, so we're not getting ripped every single time. Depending how good Unpluckable ends up being this year, I might use that max +1 badge perk on Unpluckable just to get that to silver, make sure we're getting ripped a little bit less. But even with bronze, I haven't seen it be a big issue this year, so I'm not too concerned about it. Overall, very dominant finishing. Let's check out the shooting. All right, onto the shooting here. We're going to go with an 85 mid-range, 79 3, and a 69 free throw. Like I had said earlier, I went with this lower wingspan so we could get this mid-range and three-pointer up a little bit higher. And 85, I really do think is the sweet spot for mid-range this year. It unlocks a ton of different jump shot animations, and anything that I've wanted to use, I've been able to use on this build. And it's also going to help us get badges like Silver Deadeye, Silver Post Fade Phenom, and Silver Set Shot Specialist, which is basically like catch and shoot, corner specialist, all wrapped into one this year. Anything where you're standing still, that badge is going to activate, and it's very good. I have a few jump shots on my page for builds like this if you need a jump shot, so be sure to check those out if you're struggling. And I also went with a 69 free throw because I play a lot of rec on this build, and I've got this maxed out, and I'm really not missing free throws with it, so I wouldn't suggest going any higher. At the beginning of the year, it kind of seemed like we need more free throw, but getting into it, we really probably don't. But to wrap it up, shooting's pretty on and off this year, so I wanted to get these stats as high as I could, and I'm happy with how it's been playing. And for the playmaking, really not all that much to say here, but I upgraded the pass accuracy to 87. The badges you're going to get with this is Bronze Bailout, Gold Break Starter, Bronze Versatile Visionary, and Gold Dimer. Your teammates are really going to be shooting way better off of Gold Dimer this year. Especially, I've seen a lot of guards struggling to shoot, so this might help them out. But the main reason I wanted to upgrade it is because of those full court passes you saw in the intro clips. I want to be able to grab a rebound and rec and throw it all the way down to my guard, get a rebound and an assist in the same possession. And as of the first few days with this build, I think 87 is plenty. I'm throwing dots. They're really fast passes. I haven't had any issues, and it's really not getting picked off very often. With how good Interceptor is, I was a little bit worried about it, but this is honestly fine. And then the defense. This is where this build really shines. You saw a ton of block clips. We're stopping everybody in the paint. We got an 82 interior, more than enough when you're 7 foot with a 7'5" wingspan. And then we also went with a 62 perimeter, 60 steal, 88 block, 94 offensive rebound, and 80 defensive rebound. I'm going to explain why I went with those rebound ratings in a second, but let's start with interior defense. This 82 is going to get a silver paint patroller, silver post lockdown, and silver off-ball pest. Along with the badges, having a rating this high, they talked about it a lot on Twitter. This rating, along with how big your player is what determines if you get stops in the paint, and we are really tall and we have a high interior, so we should be getting plenty of stops. And then I went ahead and threw a 62 perimeter on there, so we're not lacking on the perimeter. We want to be able to get stops if we get switched onto a guard or something, or at least not get completely cooked. So we get this 62 perimeter, which gives us bronze immovable enforcer and silver off-ball pest. If you watch my other videos, you know that immovable enforcer is like my favorite defensive badge this year, so we want to make sure to get that. And then 60 steal, this is another sweet spot for the centers this year. It's going to get us bronze interceptor. You all know what good interceptor is if you've played the game at all. I don't need to say too much about that. But then we also went with the 88 block. This is also going to help us get silver paint patroller and gold pogo stick, which is really good again this year. And also gold high flying denier. I'm going to keep referring back to those clips because you guys saw it. I was blocking everything. I'd say I'm getting 2 or 3 blocks a game in the rec. And if I'm not blocking it, I'm getting a good contest and they're missing the shot. I'm super happy with how this build's been stopping people in the paint. Now for the offensive and defensive rebound, I ended up going with a 94. And listen, I went with a 94 because I'm going to use my cap breakers on it. I'm going to get a 99 offensive rebound, which is going to give me legend rebound chaser. So if you plan on hitting your cap breakers, I would go with the same thing. Otherwise, maybe go a couple higher. But as soon as I hit starter 3, I'm making that offensive rebound 99 to get that legend rebound chaser. And the reason I left defensive so low is because offensive is cheaper, and once you have the badges, you're grabbing them on defense anyways, and you're usually in a better position. Feel free to change this up how you want, but that's just what I went with, and it's been working really well for me. And then onto the physical attributes, not a whole lot to say here. I did end up putting the speed and agility just about as high as I could, while still getting all the other attributes I wanted. But I did go with a 91 strength to get us Hall of Fame box out beast. Which worm, I don't know if you guys know what worm is, but that's tied into it. It lets you throw the people boxing you out of the way and box them out. So this is going to be a really important badge to have on your center builds this year. But we're also going to get gold brick wall, which the screens this year are really good, and silver post lockdown, silver post powerhouse, and this is also going to contribute to our bronze immovable enforcer defensive badge. Being this big with this much weight, 91 strength is very, very good. And then to finish this one out, 80 vertical is going to give us, it's going to go towards our gold pogo stick, gold rise up, gold aerial wizard, gold high flying denier. Vertical really ties into a lot of different stuff, including your rebounds, as well as your dunks and your blocks. I just wanted to put it as high as I could while getting everything else I wanted, because I really want to be as athletic as possible on this build. And then for the build name, we're going to be a 2-way 3-level playmaker. Honestly, a pretty cool center name, I'm not going to lie. I've been having a ton of fun dominating on this build. I hope you guys enjoyed if you make it. And that is all we got for our last center build. I plugged you guys in with every best build for every position in this video. If you stuck around all the way to the end, drop a like, drop a sub on your way out if any of this information helped you. I've been daily uploading all the way through September, so make sure you're checking those out. 2K25 has been a ton of fun so far. I plan on continuing to grind this game. So make sure you're following along as we get through the year. And I will catch you guys in the next one.